Imagine standing before the entire world and saying 3 words. Just 3. 3 words so profound they would make you a legend, and so dangerous they would get you killed. Well, today we're diving into the incredible and tragic story of Mansur Al-Hallaj, the Sufi mystic whose love for God was so absolute he claimed to become one with the divine.
And here they are, the 3 words that changed everything. Ana al-Haqq. In Arabic, that translates to, I am the truth. Now you have to understand, for a mystic, al-Haqq, the truth, isn't just a concept. It's one of the most sacred names for God. So what he was saying, what he was shouting from the rooftops, was essentially, I am God.
So this is the big question, right? How could a statement of what seems like ultimate devotion from a man who gave his entire life to God be seen as a crime so bad it was worthy of a public execution? Well, the answer is all about a massive collision, the collision between the inner world of mystical experience and the outer world of religious law.
Even begin to understand that radical statement, you first have to understand the man. See, Al-Hallaj wasn't some revolutionary trying to tear down the system. He was a seeker, a relentless one, on a journey to completely dissolve into the very object of his love, God.
His journey started way back in 858 CE in Persia. From the time he was a boy, he was just absorbed by the Quran. He eventually found his way to Sufism, that mystical path within Islam, and he traveled everywhere. Basra, Mecca, Baghdad, all across the Islamic world. He wasn't just trying to learn about God from books. He was on a desperate search to find union with God. And after years of solitude, fasting, and deep meditation, he found it.
Now, here's the thing that really set him apart. Plenty of mystics before him had these kinds of earth-shattering experiences, but they kept it quiet. They'd only talk about it in secret, using coded language with their closest students. Not Al-Hallaj. He was different. He spoke about his union with God openly, fearlessly, and very, very publicly. And that right there is what put him on a direct collision course with the people in power.
So let's really get into it. Let's unpack what he actually meant by Ana al-Haqq. Was this the ultimate act of ego, or was it somehow the ultimate act of humility?
You see, for the religious authorities and scholars of his time, the meaning was simple and frankly terrifying. A human being was claiming to be God himself. That's the definition of blasphemy. But from the mystical point of view, it meant the exact opposite. He wasn't saying, I, Mansur, am God. He was saying, the I, the little ego of Mansur, has been so completely erased that there's nothing left but God.
And this brings us to this absolutely beautiful Sufi concept called fana. It literally means ego dissolution or annihilation. Think of it like this. Your individual self, your ego, is a single drop of water. Fana is that mystical moment when the drop finally falls back into the vast, endless ocean of God. But here's the crucial part. The drop doesn't become the ocean. It realizes it was always the ocean to begin with. The separation was just an illusion.
Al-Hallaj actually described this state of total non-separation in his own poetry. It's just stunning. He wrote, I saw my Lord with the eye of my heart. I said, who are you? He answered, you. In that vision, the barrier between the lover and the beloved, the seeker and the sought, is just gone, completely dissolved.
But as beautiful and spiritually liberating as this message was, in the real world, it was politically and religiously explosive. And it was going to cost him everything.
He was accused of heresy and arrested, and for years he was put through unimaginable suffering, imprisonment, constant interrogations, even torture. But through it all, he never, ever took back his words. Because for him, to deny what he'd experienced would be like denying God's very presence. That would be the real crime.
And then, finally, in the city of Baghdad in the year 922 CE, the authorities carried out the sentence. Mansur Al-Hallaj was to be publicly executed. But the story of his death is just as powerful as the story of his life. People who were there said that as he faced his executioners, he was actually smiling. He was whispering prayers, not of anger or of fear, but of pure love.
and his last words were reportedly, "All that remains is the face of God."
You see, his death wasn't really an end. In a way, it was a beginning. It transformed him from a man into a symbol, cementing a legacy that would inspire seekers for all time.
His core teachings all flow from that one experience. First, divine unity, the idea that everything is just a reflection of one divine source. Second, ego dissolution, that the little self has to die for the real self to be known. Third, divine love, which he saw as the very fabric of existence, the bridge between us and the divine. Fourth, the truth isn't something you find in a book. It's a direct inner experience. And finally, the courage to speak that truth, no matter what it costs you. And because of all this, Al-Hallaj became this towering figure in spirituality. He's revered by mystics, poets, and philosophers. His ideas went on to influence some of the greatest spiritual masters in history, people like Rumi and Ibn Arabi. He truly became the ultimate symbol of the martyr of divine love, a figure who stands for a truth that goes beyond any single religion, and for a love that conquers all fear.
Honestly, his entire world-changing philosophy can be summed up in this one breathtakingly beautiful prayer he wrote. "Between me and you, there is only me. Take away the me, so only you remain." That right there is the essence of fana. That's the whole journey.
So you see, the story of Al-Hallaj isn't just some dusty piece of history. It's a living challenge to all of us. He didn't die because he claimed to be God. He died because he was trying to show humanity that a spark of the divine is waiting to be discovered inside every single one of us, if we just have the courage to look. And that really leaves us with one final and very personal question. What truth is waiting to be discovered within you?